Welcome back to the Links Golf Club podcast, now with opening audio, which is great. Your weekly live show about our wonderful club in the world of golf. I'm Gregory, joined always by Cooper and Chris. We got Bossie somewhere in here. This week, we talk about lodging ideas at Spey Bay. We recap the Ryder Cup. We talk about this weekend's upcoming Hillcrest event, and we talk about the state of our golf games. Gentlemen, how y'all feeling?
Feeling good. Got some new clubs out on the course this week, which I'm feeling great about. Although it hasn't necessarily translated to scores, at least right off the bat. We'll talk about that a little more later.
Happen? That's crazy.
I know, crazy. I did see some performance improvements, just not score improvements immediately. We'll talk more about it later, though. But feeling good.
Yeah, don't step on the full rundown of Chris Bruce's game later on today. We're gonna get the analytics. We're gonna get all of it. Cooper, how you feeling?
Doing well. Yeah, jealous of Chris's driving distance off the tee, but really excited to be with you guys today. It's kind of an interesting period. Golf season's over, but we're all excited about Ryder Cup. The temperature's dropping a little bit. Leaves haven't turned yet, but fall golf feels imminent. It's always a good time of year. Days are a little bit shorter, but the weather's never been better for getting out on the course. So feels good. Stoked to be chatting with you guys today.
Same. Back to Wednesdays. It's just a good day. Like hump day. We got good energy. We got good vibes. Come along with us, everybody. Before we get started, Chris, do you want to walk us through our wonderful friends Gemini?
Absolutely. So, as you probably know by now, today's podcast is sponsored by the Gemini credit card, the only instant crypto rewards credit card in the market, and hands down one of the best credit cards if you love golf. So today you get a $200 sign-up bonus in Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, or 50 other cryptos. And through September 30th, so through the end of the month, you are still getting 10% back on all golf course transactions up to $250 a month. Through the end of this month, it has been great running this promotion all summer. Still got some time to take advantage. And, even beyond the 10% back on golf, they offer up to 4% back on just your everyday transactions. And again, you get it instantly in any cryptocurrency of your choice. It can be Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, or over 50 that are offered on the Gemini credit card. So it's a pretty awesome setup. To learn more, you can go to gemini.com/linksdao /LINKSDAO to learn more and see all the details. I've been doing some golf spend this month on the card. Plus, been doing the creatine gummies recently. No free ads, but you get actually 10% back on Create gummies as well. Some extra perks, trying to juice those drives a little more. But been earning the rewards. How about you guys? Have you guys had the golf spend going this last month that we got the 10% back?
I'm glad you asked. This is my favorite segment of the pod. 3 transactions over the last week on my Gemini card, earning that Bitcoin. I bought some new grips. We'll talk about regripping and what that might mean for the game later on, but bought some new grips yesterday. What
grips are we talking? Tell us more about the grips.
Well, we don't step on the segment later on. We got to keep the people around. You got some Golf Pride Tour Velvet corded, which are pretty nice mid-size. Then I got 20 wings, all flats, extra cook time, half Louisiana dry rub and half Buffalo mild from Wingstop with the Cajun corn and an extra blue cheese.
Very detailed.
I got paid in Bitcoin for that.
3% back.
And then I got some other wings from a local place. So it was NFL season started, got a bunch of wings, got some new grips. That's my spending recap for the week.
Love it.
I'm also looking forward to taking some friends out at my course using the Gemini card to pay for the greens fees. And, if they Venmo or Apple cash me back, that's just a win, right? Get that percentage back.
Free money.
Yeah, it just works, right? It's a great card, and I love checking in and seeing, my portfolio just going up, stacking Bitcoin, which, since I bought my first crypto in 2013, I have not done a good job of like actually accumulating any Bitcoin, which is, my mistake. It feels like this is the easiest way to do it that I've ever experienced. So love the card, love playing golf. Excited to see where that goes.
Love it.
Hell yeah. Can I say
3% back? Oh, go ahead.
No, well, no. Finish the ad read. I want to talk about the creatine thing for a second. This is a absolute non sequitur. Go ahead. I'll hang
3% back on wings, 10% back on golf. What's not to love? And just to remind everybody, that 10% back on golf, that includes Spey Bay memberships. It includes Hillcrest memberships. We're going to talk about our trip to Kansas City this weekend. In fact, it includes Linkstyle events, like the event at the tree farm we've got coming up in November with a few spots available. Use the Gemini credit card, get 10% back at up to $250 a month. So incredible deal for all of our golf and crypto loving friends. Visit gemini.com/Linkstyle to learn more. It's a great deal. Been loving both the card and the app personally. So check it out, learn more, and on with the pod. Greg, you want to talk creatine?
Yeah. So we talked about this on the pod about Ben Griffin's, like, whatever he called it, rock of creatine that he ingested.
Obviously wasn't using gummies.
Well,
it appears.
So I want to consider a conspiracy here. I wouldn't call myself a conspiracy theorist. I'll call myself a coincidence theorist. But the idea here is I have seen endless create. Those are the gummies you use, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Create gummy ads with Ben Griffin have just been endlessly in my algo on Instagram, talking about how he wouldn't have had a problem if he had the gummies. I didn't see those before, so I wonder the entire thing's a false flag, sort of manufactured advertising thing. People are asking questions. I just wanted to bring it up. I don't have any answers, but it's something that I'll be monitoring.
It's a good question. It seemed to be like bang, bang. The incident, the ads were right up there. I mean, I tagged McCormick or whatever on Twitter. It was like, look at this. And the wheels already had to be in motion by the time, that kind of came up. So who knows? I will know that I am a creatine gummy enthusiast as well. So, I got the red and blue combo pack, no free ads. But yeah, creatine's great for the golf game.
Can I ask a question about this? So I still have about half of my can of dry powder creatine that I use every morning.
Sure.
It's 50 grams is the dose. The tri creates are like 5 to 10 or something. How many do you take in a day?
You're taking 50 grams of creatine every day?
Have you not seen my body? Of course I am.
I go between like 4.5 to 6. They're like 1.5
of the gummies
grams per gummy, and so I take like 4 gummies a day.
Okay, I might need to see a doctor. All right, sounds good. Coop, do you have any other announcements
in the chat? 50 grams is nuts.
Maybe it's not 50 grams. I'm gonna look. Maybe it's not 50. I thought it was.
I think we've unlocked the ultimate golf stack though. Use your Gemini credit card, pay for golf, pay for your stack system, pay for your create gummies, earn crypto, drive the ball longer. It's a big virtuous cycle here. It's everything is rolling.
AJ says AJ does not be correct.
Okay, never mind. It's definitely not. It's definitely not 50. Okay, I was off by multiple of 10. It's 5. Okay, never mind. See you later. All right, Coop. What? But yes, your point stands, Chris. What is Coop? What do you got?
If you're watching us on YouTube, fantastic. If you're not, make sure to go to youtube.com/LinksGolfOfficial and subscribe. We've got a lot of good content there. Most recently, the 100-hole hike video. If you've been paying attention, we had an awesome event out at Spey Bay. We've got the Ryder Cup video coming out soon. Lots of good content, shorts, other stuff. Chris's What's in the Bag was just posted. Great spot to be on there. So check that out. Like and subscribe if you're watching now, wherever you are. We appreciate the support. Keeps the pod going. But more importantly, we're playing real IRL golf a lot out here with members, which is the best thing that we get to do and that we hear that you love to do. So right now you can RSVP for all of our events. I'm going to drop the link in here, but we have 2 days at the tree farm in Aiken, which is just a very, very hyped up location. The videos look incredible. That's going to be November 23rd and 24th. So that weekend right before Thanksgiving. If you want to get out, play some awesome fall golf, it seems like it's going to be the spot to do it. In the meantime, we have 2 community-led events. One is Paramount Country Club coming up a week from today. It's going to be a battle of the Hudson, New York versus New Jersey. You can RSVP for that one as well. And then, Greg, I won't steal your thunder here. Your favorite course, Sweetens Cove.
Super excited. We're going to be out there in November. Weather's going to be crisp. There's going to be college football happening, which, you know, if you're not in the Southeast during college football season, you're missing out. Come on down. Easy flight to Nashville, a little bit harder flight to Chattanooga, but I'll drive you to Sweetens if you need a ride. Like, just come on into Nashville, play some golf. We got 3 spots left, though. So, you know, I expect those, like last time, sort of a bulk of the spots sold out pretty early and then kind of 3 lagged. And then they got like picked up within a couple weeks. So if you're thinking about doing it, if you always wanted to do it again, it's a public golf course. It's a 9-hole golf course, but obviously you've probably heard of it. The way that they do passes makes it hard to plan big trips with buddies. So a lot of the time, like, it's easy if you live in Nashville because people cancel and just kind of show up, but they drop all their passes at once. And so, you know, we got ours early on. We did an event earlier in the year. We'll do an event now. So if you ever wanted to have a reason to come down and see it for yourself, this is a good opportunity to do it. You're going to be with, you know, 15, 16 other members. And if you're coming as a single, if you're one of those 3, like, absolutely check it out. It's going to be super fun. We're going to be out there all day playing a bunch of different golf. Going to be a great time. So come on down. Let me know if you have any questions. You can do it in members chat and Discord or the Southeast channel too.
Yeah, highly recommend those. And if you have any questions about events or just want to get out with some other golfers around, pop in the Discord. We got regional channels. People are getting together, playing golf all the time. And it's the best thing that we do. Additionally, we're going to draw another Links Millionaire drawing on the 17th. So 1 week from today, be sure to stack up some Links coin, verify in Discord, and we will be giving away another awesome hat, maybe like the one Chris is wearing. We got white, blue, and black still in stock to hook you all up. And we usually do something special as well, 1 or 2 drawings around that time. Last week, we gave out some Callaway Chrome Tour balls, some new golf balls as well. So stack Links, get golf rewards. It's the best. Yeah, we mentioned Spey Bay a little bit. Chris, I know there was some chatter. Do you want to lead us off talking about what's new out there or going to be new out there?
Yeah, I mean, we've got an announcement of sorts. I guess it's already leaked to the press, I suppose.
Yeah, the Northern Scott scooped your story.
They're all over the planning permission process, I suppose. But yeah, some exciting news coming to Spey Bay. So this has been a long time coming, but just to kind of give the summary up front, we just had planning permission approved for a bunch of lodging pods, kind of mini homes at Spey Bay. So you can see, I think Coop will show some of the renderings here. But ultimately, lodging is coming on site at Spey Bay, which is super exciting. If you've been there, you know, there's the course in the clubhouse and the putting green there, and there's the caravan site right adjacent to that. And so what we've now been approved to do is actually utilize some of that space for some of this more kind of more permanent lodging, which is going to be awesome. I mean, if you've been there, right, you can kind of see from the image, those pods they'll be right on the putting green, which, you know, we actually just some pictures went out today of the new Himalayas green, you know, kind of expanded putting green setup right by the first tee and 18th green. They're going to look out like right at the Murray Firth. It's going to be a really awesome setup, or, you know, kind of the what has been approved will be an awesome setup. So really excited about this, and just gives people the ability to, you know, to go stay on site really easily, have a really good setup, whether you're coming for an event, coming with buddies for a weekend, you know, whatever the case may be. So really excited about that. Yeah, I mean, it's been a long time coming. We Oh, and actually, yeah, Coop, you've got the image up here. Maybe just to talk a little bit more about what this actually entails. I mean, it's kind of a uh, it's really well equipped pod. So you get either kind of two twins or a queen bed, plus sofa, plus workstation, plus bathroom, and mini kind of kitchenette in each site. It's kind of a really great setup for folks. And then obviously you can book multiple for if you've got a group coming in or whatever else, chill outside on the putting green, walk in and out. Really awesome setup. So that is very cool. To the questions I see coming in, they will have indoor facilities. You know, they've got shower and bathroom kind of set up and everything. It's going to be pretty sweet. Plus a little mini kitchen, although you can obviously run into the clubhouse, get some food as well. So really exciting stuff. These, and just to be clear on timeline, so you know, none of this will actually be on site until next year. But now that you know we have approval to add things like this on site, we'd love to hear people's feedback, ideas. You know what they'd love to see as part of these things or part of the process. Because you know we do have some time before any of this will actually be on site. But you know, chime in the comments here, hop into Discord, tell us what you like, what you don't like. You may have seen some of these elsewhere too, or you know, stayed in some of these. You know, so you may have some ideas for what setup works well or what doesn't. Actually, the company we're working with, I think, has a few of these at Brora. So just up the coast in Scotland. So kind of a well-worn concept. You know, it's working well elsewhere. So yeah, super excited. I mean, can't wait to have these on site. I think this is one of those things where it was a clear area for improvement for Spey Bay, right? Being able to stay right on site. We're going to have cabins coming to Hillcrest. We'll have some on-site lodging at Spey Bay. So we're going to have a ton of options for people visiting our courses, which is super exciting.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be so awesome. I mean, it's like when you talk to people about Spey Bay too, especially where it is, it's like one of the first things people ask is like, where do I stay? There's like entire pages of the Spey Bay website dedicated to this. So I think like one of the cool things is for the average person going and like a non-event, this makes it super easy because you should easily be able to book one of these, I assume. During events, obviously, there'll be a ton more people there. It'll make it a little bit harder. That'll be interesting to see how that plays out. But it also then frees up the other stuff close by. Like this year, I stayed at Gordon Castle at a cottage. It was great. Loved it. But what we did at the Solstice, where we stayed at that Airbnb right next to the course, that's the way that I'll do it every other time, especially with the new putting green there.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get some lighting out there, Chris. I'll, put in that request. But, having the fire pit, being able to play golf all day, then be able to hang out at the bar and, just hit putts for a couple hours and then just like walk right to one of these is going to be sweet. So it's very cool to see both Hillcrest and Spey. One, thinking about this, because I still I'm very bullish on the idea of Spey Bay being the kind of place that you're going to want to go and spend 2 days at, stop your Rhoda pilgrimage, be up there for 2 days, play the course one way, next day, play the course the other way, do a bunch of crazy stuff out there, be on this green. It's all really coming together, and it's really exciting to see.
We're already halfway there with lighting. Like you could see this photo Spey Bay posted today. Like half of it is pretty playable, Chris. I think we could do it. For those of you who don't know, this is the new Himalayas green that opened. So the pods will be just to the left of it. It should be an awesome place to hang out, have a pint, as they say, and hit some putts right next to the course. One of the questions came in. I think 6 were approved in the plan. Is that right, Chris?
Yeah, that's what there's approval for. I think we'll likely kind of, have a lower number to start and then see how it goes over time. But yeah, that's what the kind of layout and planning permissions were for.
Awesome.
Full 6, yeah. The other thing I think it'll work really well for, because obviously a lot of our folks coming over, even if you're a member at Spey Bay, folks are traveling over, playing other places, and just given the position of the course in Scotland, it's right between Aberdeen and Inverness. So it's going to be a great, it's a perfect transition point for someone who's playing the courses around Inverness, Dornoch, Cabot Highlands, Nairn, kind of that locus. And then the courses in Aberdeen, so Cruden Bay, Royal Aberdeen, Trump Aberdeen, all of that. Perfect stopover point. So now there will be more kind of built-in lodging options for people, on their way in one direction or the other. So, great setup for that. And I think, like you were saying, Greg, there are lots of other lodging options as well. So we'll have a ton of options for like people want to go in a big group, get a cottage at Gordon Castle, or stay in a home, or some of these, kind of single person or dual person pods as well. Kind of be a lot of options for folks coming in, which is great.
Yep. Super cool. Thanks for walking us through that. Very excited to see it. And again, if you have feedback, ideas, talk in Discord. Love to get that conversation going. So let's pivot here a little bit to some really good golfers playing really good golf. Walker Cup this past weekend, just by all accounts, the consensus was it was amazing. I can say that firsthand watching it on TV. We had some Lynx members out there over the course of the weekend, which was really cool. Got to see some on the ground photos. In fact, one saw Hal's shot that we'll talk about here in a second. But I gotta say, like, hand up, I'm kind of a golf hipster, I guess, but like this event it's just awesome. Like, number one, there's a ton of history to it. It means something. It's not playing for money. Number two, which obviously adds to the allure of it. Number three, they play at great golf courses, and especially with now with the YouTube industrial complex, we're seeing much like more and more ability for us to see content of places that we just haven't seen a lot of. Like, I remember when we went to Cabot, some of us all stayed in a house and we just watched like the every hole at Pine Valley, because like none of us had really, the only other time we'd seen Pine Valley was like from a 1960s Shell Wonderful World of Sports video, right? Like, it's just, these things don't get photographed, they don't get on video, and you don't see them on TV, let alone network television. And I think NBC did a really good job. USGA did a really good job. Like, they catch all sorts of shit for how they cover golf, but I think they've done a really good job with the Walker Cup. And it, despite the fact that like under no circumstances did GB and I have a shot at all, it was inevitable the United States would win. They've won like 90% of them over the course of the history of this event. It's still awesome to watch. So let alone being able to see Cypress Point, let alone being able to watch some really good golf, and then let alone like knowing that some of these guys are going to be dudes on tour in the conceivable future, or playing in other big amateur events over the course of the next year, NCAAs, USAM, whatever. So I don't know, like, what were y'all impressions of the event? Love to talk about the Walker Cup. Number one is just because I think as many people should watch this as possible. Number two is I think there's a lot to discuss.
Yeah, it was, honestly, I think it was one of my like golf viewing highlights of the year. Thought it was incredible.
Retweet.
Like it was, I was thinking about this. It was like, it's almost like it was a mashup of like a Planet Earth episode, like documentary, plus the Ryder Cup, plus, like an every hole at episode. It was just like, and you said that the match itself wasn't super close. It was within striking distance, but
it got closer than we thought.
For sure. Yeah. But despite that, I mean, it was, I thought it was like must see viewing every session. I was watching every session, like just because the golf course shots, seeing Cypress from a ton of new angles, see holes, like you see lots of pictures of 15 and 16 and, they're like the most beautiful golf holes in the world, but you don't really see too much else of the rest of the course, or you have to go seek it out. And there's only a handful of things for you to look at. Mm-hmm. But to get like live footage, different angles, we saw it in different weather. It was really awesome to see the course. Plus you got it with a like international match play competition going on across it, with a lot of interesting storylines and intrigue there. So I thought it was amazing. I was honestly like, we ranked the majors on what we thought the best ones were to watch. Like, if Rory completing the Grand Slam, the career Grand Slam and winning the Masters wasn't in there, I'd honestly I feel like it was up, up in the echelon of major championship viewing. It was that good. So I was all in on it. But I don't know if you would, I obviously like think about the course stuff a lot, like, the architecture, all that. So I don't know, like Coop, if you had the same feeling, or like how much you watched of it, but I was definitely high on it.
Yeah. I'm reminded of, I think you replied to a Claire Rogers tweet about some Ryder Cup minutia being golf 101 versus like golf 301 or like advanced golf. Watching a Walker Cup feels like, I was trying to explain it to my fiance. I was like, this is actually like so cool. She's like, why are you watching amateur golf? Like at Cypress Point, a national competition, the stakes are really high and the setting just couldn't be beat. So it did feel really, really special. As soon as, we turned on and, saw that walk coming around the corner to 15, that drone shot. Obviously the last day was foggy, but the Saturday match was just like sunset, right? The winning that hole on 15, just an incredible spot to play golf and to see on TV. My bucket list has been reorganized right now. I really, really want to go to Cyprus, but watching these kids compete, knowing that they're going to be, the next generation of stars really had a cool impact on this. But yeah, definitely, I think falls in the category of golf sicko, like, being intense about this. I think it would be cool for more of it to be broadcast and less of it, Peacock streaming. I think that, it beats the socks off of the Champions Tour, whatever the Golf Channel was showing. So, next year, if you're listening, Golf Channel, like put this up there rather than, whatever's happening in Jacksonville, Florida. But yeah, it was a really, really cool tournament.
Yeah, I also like the only complaint I have to that end is I don't understand why the coverage schedule was what it was. I watched every minute of the coverage between Peacock. Like I fucking subscribed to Peacock to watch this, and I watched every single minute. And Chris, what was this? What was the earliest hole they showed? 9, I think, was the soonest that we got to see golf on the golf course. Maybe 8 or 9 for some of the earlier matches. I just don't part of what's fun about these things is the first hole and the tee shot and like the announcing of the names. Like I get that it's early East Coast time, but like for a streaming service, like I don't understand why they're not incentivized to just put it up there. I understand costs and blah, 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 but like, it just doesn't make sense to me for, these kinds of events are going to get at least, I immediately auto canceled at the end of the month. So I won't be a Peacock subscriber until the next event like this happens. Sorry. But yeah, they got my $9.99 and I just wanted a lot more, let alone, Cooper, to your point, that this stuff should be on Golf Channel. Like I don't understand how they want to grow these types of events. If not, maybe they don't care, but that part is a big complaint for me.
Yeah. I'm guessing it's because like at the very start, there'd only be one match out. So there's not that much to show or for the, announcers to talk about or whatever. And
talk about the players, get some storylines.
I'm with you. It seems like a low lift, right? They've got the cameras there. I think they showed little mini like recaps of some of the shots leading up in the holes that we missed before the broadcast window. So like they had the stuff there. So yeah, it seems like an easy low hanging fruit for sure.
Yeah.
And you're totally right. Like despite knowing about Cypress Point and, kind of consuming lots of content wherever I can about it, you don't really see that much about those first holes. And so it would have been very cool to watch the matches unfold over them too, in addition to like the signature holes that they come later in the round.
Yeah. I only saw I only saw the front at Cypress because of Barstool, Fried Egg, and No Laying Up. Like I want to see it on broadcast. Cooper,
you had Johnson Wagner whacking the ball around at the Open before everybody teed off, and that was televised. Send Johnson Wagner out there, have him rolling balls off of different spots on 15, right? Like, lasering distances on 16 and talking about angles. I would watch that all day. I know that they got Condi to do the every hole at the YouTube flyover, but like, give it to the people, broadcast this on television. Maybe I'm a boomer and I want to see it on cable, but like,
you are.
I think that would be worthwhile for some of these events, right? Especially when it's at a location like this.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like there's the fan, there's the business. I'm sure they have a reason for doing it the way that they do, and it makes sense for them. But like, it's already such a niche audience. Like, I just, for me, it's like, make us people who are already there and like signing into Peacock and watching it. Like, give us just more. I don't know. So I'm sure they've thought about it, but I am a little bit disappointed. Let me just kind of go through what happened, because I was reminded, I went back and checked kind of what happened at St. Andrews, which was much closer for most of the time than this one felt. I mean, I think the St. Andrews one, it certainly felt like there were moments in which GB and I could have won. And that felt a little bit like Saturday. You're kind of watching the foursome matches, and you're like, well, that's kind of interesting. But singles is coming, and always then US catches back up, and then they get a little bit closer in foursomes the next day, and then they just kind of drive the stake in the ground on singles. So GB and I was up 3-1 Saturday morning. US claws back 5.5, 2.5 after singles. Sunday morning, the teams were, basically tied, exactly tied. And then, so US was leading, and then just Sunday finals, just 8-1-1 US, just absolutely dominant. I think the big highlight was obviously Howell's shot. Chris, I'll give you some room. Kind of, we'll all go to the side and let you shoot here because he's a Georgia guy. But that shot, he didn't even know it went in. He couldn't see it, and it would have been 40 yards past the green, I think, had it not gone in, because it just kind of like bounced once and stuck. But that was an incredible shot. I mean, any thoughts there, Chris? I mean, I know you watched it, you reacted to it.
Yeah. I mean, for those who didn't watch it, he one hop dunked it from the fairway on 17 with his approach shot to close out his match, which is pretty epic. Pretty epic way to end one on also one of the most beautiful, and renowned holes in the world, which is pretty sweet. But yeah, Howell's absolutely been killing it. He's, high schooler, won the USAM, and then now part of a winning Walker Cup team. It's a pretty epic summer, for a high school senior or whatever.
Yeah, I was watching a Hollywood video my senior year.
Yeah, I watched. I think in his interview he said that like he didn't even know that the USAM winner got an automatic spot on the Walker Cup team until like the semifinal match or something, and it's like wasn't even in the realm of possibility for him that he'd be doing that, and then he ends up having some epic moments like this. He played really well throughout, I thought, as did many of the US players, or a lot of the players. I mean, it was really competitive and fun to watch these guys play. Kind of like we talked about for the US Amateur. It's like, these guys that aren't pros, they still have so much game, and it's cool to see it, especially in a cool setting like this.
Yeah, it is funny to see the gap, though. Like, they have so much talent, but like, I think especially with like distance and spin control with wedges, like that was one that when you watch a lot of pro golf, like you could see it there. Pretty much everything else is like pretty close, but there is that like precision element. Putting too. There were some pretty shaky putting performances throughout the weekend. But yeah, I mean, it was great. I can't wait to the next one. It's going to be at La Hinch. Again, they play at great golf courses. So the fact they're going to be at La Hinch, we do have Oakmont and Pine Valley on the horizon. Bandon is the next one in the U.S. So this is an event that if you watch golf and you're just like Cooper said earlier, like I don't want to watch an amateur event, it is 100% absolutely worth dialing in for. And again, like you can look back through the years and you see these rosters are full of players who end up becoming, big dogs on the tour. We're still waiting for, but that this, Quoven, I don't know how to say his name, how like these are guys I'd be surprised don't make a run. It's hard, it's an uphill battle to become a PGA superstar, but I can't wait to see their careers play out.
Question in the chat: will Hagstead be back for the next one?
I hope so, man. I mean, he's going to be 65 in La Hinch. Actually, I did have a question about this. Does the mid-am automatic? So one thing that there was a lot of confusion online about is why the hell is a 34-year-old golfer playing in a Walker Cup? And the reason why is because both teams have to have a mid-am, right? That's how it works. And it's just, I think it's always been that way. But does a mid-am automatically qualify if they win the mid-am? Because I don't know if Hagstead won the last one. Or do they just pick him? They have to pick a mid-am, so they pick Hagstead because he's been to 4 of them.
That's a good question. I believe it's the winner, but I'm not totally sure. Okay. And it is a little awkward because this year's mid-am is about to happen.
Right.
I think it's this week or next week. So if it is an automatic thing, there's like a year lag, which is a little awkward. But
Yep.
yeah, I'm not sure if it's automatic or they pick one, but there definitely is one on the team.
Okay. Yeah, the Mid-Am is this weekend at Troon Country Club in Scottsdale. So another thing, I don't know what the coverage is going to be like for the Mid-Am, but that is another thing to keep on the radar. All right. Well, a couple other things here. One is Procore Championship in Napa is this weekend. This would very normally not be a discussion point at all unless you like wine, Napa, the Procore company, work at the Procore company, or related to someone who works at Procore. I don't even know what Procore is. But this year it's awesome because nearly every single Ryder Cup player has committed to playing in this event, which it's not a signature event. It's not, it's after the FedEx stuff. Usually this would be a complete skip, but we're going to see all the guys out there, 2.5-ish weeks away from the Ryder Cup. This is the last time we're going to see them play on TV. So that makes it somewhat notable. The only people not playing Xander, I think he's having a baby. And then I think, obviously Bryson is on live. I hope he goes. I still hope he shoots content there. I haven't heard whether he's going to be there, but he was at the Walker Cup. So he's in California. You might as well stick around just to hang out. Obviously Scotty's the runaway favorite here. But yeah, I mean, I think like Keith Stewart of Read the Line had a really good breakdown of how Silverado is actually a pretty good lead-in test for Bethpage. Like if you think about what are the things that Bethpage rewards, that's going to be driving accuracy. Obviously, distance is really important, and that gap is closed, from the Europeans and the US. I think I read a stat that Oberg and Rahm are both the only people like in the top quartile of strokes gain distance and accuracy, which doesn't bode well for the Americans. But Americans tend to be a little bit more accurate off the tee on the hole, and this will be a good test for accuracy because in the history of this event at this golf course, stroke gain accuracy off the tee is one of the biggest indications of winning. What else is Bethpage demand is ball striking approach. This is also a golf course that historically players who do that well win this event. And then lastly, what's the third most important thing about Bethpage and match play in general is making big putts on tough greens. So I think otherwise this is probably something I'd be like, I'm going to do some chores and maybe we go play some golf and watch some other stuff. I will be watching this event for all of those reasons and more. Is that enough to convince either of you to tune into this? So like, what do you think? And also use it as excuse to talk about any Ryder Cup random miscellanea you have.
Yeah. I mean, interesting that Xander's missing for the birth of his child. I think that's fair. We saw Scotty, say that he would skip Sunday at Augusta if his kid were to be born. Right. I think
Totally.
that's, you have to do that. I'm definitely gonna have it on in the background, I think. But will it outperform NFL Sunday now that that's back? I don't know.
No.
We've got multi-view on Comcast now, which is a big improvement. So
welcome to the future.
Thank you. We've arrived. Yeah, we'll see what Bryson's up to with his ping pong ball thing now completed. I'm looking forward to the next social media challenge. I don't know if one of you won the Bentley. I forgot to tune into the live stream to win the Bentley. So
I already have a couple. Give other people a chance.
No more room in the garage for you. Yeah. I think it'll be, very good to see these guys get into form before Bethpage. And, with Rory winning in Ireland, this perhaps can be a bounce back. Somebody can have a dominant performance to say, Rory can sink an eagle to force a playoff, but we're also in good form as well. And maybe make a statement to the Euros before they get to New York. Yeah.
It'd be good also just to hang out, camaraderie, that kind of thing, watch the football. I know they've done that in the past, but the biggest complaint going into Rome is it's just like the dudes just didn't play golf. They just went to a bachelor party, hung out. They need to be in good form. They need to be a tight team. There's also the clips about the difference in how Europeans and US talk about it. Like Bryson was asked and he's like, Keegan has said, bring your ego in, be that dude, bring your ego. And Rory was like, we got to have your ego take the back seat and everything else, be a member of the team. So that stuff is already happening. Hopefully we'll get an actual fight between Bryson and Rory and not just yelling at each other in a parking lot between what's Cantley's caddy and Rory. I would like to see an actual fight. If it's tied, they should fight. Chris, any thoughts on the Procore?
Yeah, I mean, one other fun subplot just rolling in from the Ryder Cup is a few of the players from last weekend will be playing in the Procore this weekend. So Jackson Coyvin's playing, Ethan Fang, and maybe a couple more. So fun little continuation there. See how they line up to the pros for some of these amateurs that we were just watching. But yeah, honestly, I don't know that I'll be watching too much of the Procore this weekend because I'll be busy with all the events in Kansas City at our little Hillcrest preview.
That's fair. Good.
How's that for a segue?
That's a hell of a segue. I'll watch it and I'll report back. Chris, tell us about what's happening in Kansas City this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, we've had this planned for a bit, but we've got our first member event in Kansas City going on this weekend for all of our Hillcrest members that have joined already. We're going to spend some time, getting to know the land and getting to know the city. So we'll be playing some golf. We'll be checking out the Hillcrest site and, everything going on there. I'm sure we'll eat some barbecue. We may, watch some college football, some pro football. And then a bunch of folks will be continuing on to our signature event at Arbor Links up a little north of there, the Dormy Club venue. So going to be a ton of fun. We've got a good crew coming in. Looks like we're going to have some absolutely perfect weather. Mid 70s and sunny. So great Kansas City weather. I think September's often a peak time to be there. So really excited about that. And yeah, I mean, this is the kind of beginning of, what will be many, many member events in the area. So excited about the first one. We've obviously done some visits before with some Links members and everything else, but very cool to have the first actual Hillcrest, convening of members actually on site there, which super excited about. I see some folks in the chat that'll be there as well. Going to be a ton of fun. Really looking forward to it. So yeah, it's I think we've got a pretty what will be a pretty packed weekend with some real golf and then some just viewing of future golf course, which is always fun too.
Yeah, it's one of the cool things about both kind of Spey Bay and Hillcrest are obviously different levels of the journey of sort of where they are as golf courses, but it's just cool to be able to see it in person. I'm super jealous just to go and see the difference between, I think we were there in early March, late February ish. Obviously that was the very beginning, pre-construction. They torn a bunch of trees down and, the clubhouse was down, but there's been some shaping, there's been some routing, there's been some movement of land, and to be able to start to see that in person is super cool. So take some pictures, have a great time, eat some barbecue. And I'm also very excited to hear about Arbor Links as well. Don't sleep on that because that place looks great.
Yeah. It's also worth saying for any Links folks listening in, if you haven't at this point, we still have all of the info on Hillcrest, both, all the plans, all the history of the course, which, it's a historic Donald Ross course. It's been around for over a century. All of that is still in Clubhouse. If you go into Clubhouse and click on Hillcrest, you can check out more info there. And, we'll obviously be adding to that as construction goes on and as we get closer to opening next year as well.
Absolutely.
Super cool. Yeah, definitely. If you're Chris, I hope you post to the Instagram if you want to follow along with the event, the visit, everything else. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and check the stories there. We'll have some more updates and content for you coming in on that front.
Sweet. Yeah. And next week when you're back, we'll do a full recap of everything that happened. So definitely check out the socials, check out the Discord if you want to follow along and just see, how cool this is. It really is. Awesome. So let's talk about golf performance a little bit, just to kind of wrap up with just a check-in, just accountability check-in. Earlier in the year we talked about goals. We won't do the full breakdown of that, but I just want to get just a read on kind of where our games are. We obviously all played golf. I actually didn't play with Cooper at all in Scotland. Chris, I played with you once. I guess twice. We played at Old Petty too. So we'll have to rectify that next time. But maybe our captain was keeping me away from your pairing because he knew you were going to perform better than me. But I just want to kind of have a sense about how's everybody playing right now? Where's the game trending? I'd love to just kind of hear your evaluation, whether you're using Arcos or not, just how you doing off the tee, how you doing approach, how you doing with finesse. putting, wedge, etc. And then would love to reveal the handicap and sort of where that stands on where you thought you would be at the beginning of the year. So, Chris, why don't you start? How are you playing right now? Where's the game trending? And then evaluate where you are in the 3 phases.
Yeah, I'm in a little bit of a funky spot right now, I will say. So I was on a great trend kind of early in the year or early summer. So they started off the year, index was a 9 something, worked down to mid 7s, posted some really good scores. Talked about earlier, broke 80 on my home course for the first time. Actually did that 1 or 2 more times. So it was like in a really good spot. And that would be probably around the end of July or so. And then just got smacked with vacation and family time. And then a couple really busy weeks where I didn't play, or I played like once, I think, over a 3-week span, which put the brakes on the progress, I will say. So put together some good rounds in Scotland, but also some subpar rounds. And then I've frankly played very poorly the past few rounds back in the US as well. So my handicap is technically still at 7.8 or 7.7, which is, close to the lowest it's ever been, but it's right on the precipice of moving the wrong direction. Those good scores are like right at the end of the queue to get pushed off, and I'm loading it up with poor scores about to get that are going to be stuck there for a while. So it looks better on the surface or on paper than I think it actually is right now. But yeah, so kind of a turning point. I also got a bunch of new clubs post our visit to Callaway, which is awesome. And I think they've been doing good things, but it's also a little bit of a transition, getting used to a new driver, some new wedges, and a new putter. I made the switch from blade to mallet, which I think will be good overall, but still a little bit of an adjustment. So, I don't know. We're in a little bit of a transition. I'm hoping that it's really just we're about to get things back on track, plus the boost of the new clubs in there, which, like, honestly, the new driver, I think I posted this somewhere, but like I've been absolutely crushing it with the new driver. Turns out, like, when you have a 15-year-old driver and then you get one with new technology, it actually does something. So I think there's some potential there, but it could also go the other direction. So we gotta tighten things up here for the next couple months.
Okay. So
I believe in you, Chris. I do. I think you're gonna go the right way with it. Yeah, that new equipment looks cool. Excited to see more about your journey with those new wedges. Those look really great. Yeah, on my end, my handicap is as low as it's ever been. Back down to a 6.5 after firing off a 74 at Spey Bay. So that's pretty cool. But my recent scores at home prior to the Scotland trip were mid 80s, not doing great. Started to push up a little bit. So we'll see how that hangs on. Yeah, off the tee, a lot of questions about control. I was at the range trying to work on it a little bit, and it felt good. But every time I take a video of my swing, it's just early extension, and I can't seem to solve that problem. Might need to hit up AJ. Shout out AJ. See what else I can do to get that fixed. Short game approach, not as good as it has been. I feel like I'm missing more greens, and then I got new wedges after the Callaway trip, Chris, as well. So like they're a little bit heavier, stiffer shafts. I need to get that weight dialed in. I've been, chipping things a little long, which is, making those up and downs harder to come by. So gonna hopefully work on that a little bit more with some fall golf, get that in, and prepare for the next Ryder Cup, where I don't have such a low handicap compared to the Scots, right? I think they have an advantage. They hole out everything. I need to be more. I need to stop chasing a vanity cap. I think that's, the low number sounds cool, but I'd rather have the skill to back it up than go out and hit an 88 at my home course. It's just not fun.
Yeah. We also, all three of us, had to like make the transition full on to links golf style of play and then back. So it's probably negatively affecting us as well, or at least I'd like to think so.
Yeah. Did you pull out your 7-iron? Do any
Whatever
bump
makes
runs?
you feel good. Whatever makes you feel good.
Yeah.
How are you, Greg?
Yeah, I mean, so I reached my low handicap ever in May of this year. It was down to a 7.1, kind of similar to what Chris explained. Slowly started to creep back up. But after posting 2 rounds in the US, I'm back down to an 8 flat. Wildly inconsistent as always. It just kind of is what it is. But I think I've told the story before, but I was playing golf with my brother, like, I think it was earlier this year, maybe it was late last year. And, I just started playing like much more recently. He's been playing his whole life. And he's like, man, you're getting so good. Like, you're getting so much better. Like, you're pretty much my equal at this point. And then I played with him a couple of months ago and he's like, I feel like you're getting worse. What the hell is going on? I thought you were practicing. And like the way that I would describe my game is like everything in isolation feels like it's getting much better. I'm becoming a better ball striker. I'm becoming a better putter. The wedges have always been a strength, but like I'm just not bringing it together. Like case in point, maybe the proudest I've been in a round all year is I shot at 83 with 2 7s and a 6 on Sunday. Just sick, like the most Jordan Spieth-esque round possible. I shot at 80 then after that with missing every single fairway. And just that's what makes golf not fun right now, is like as evidenced by the driving in Spey Bay. Every time I pull out the driver, it was like literally shanks. Like it's like not just, oh man, I missed my target by 20 yards, or oh man, I'm slicing it a little bit, but I'm still in play. Like we're talking about topping golf balls. We're talking about like toe shanking balls to the right. Like it is disgusting. And it's one of those things where like obviously I go talk to my coach and like gets back, and like while he's there, we're hitting on the range and like we're striping it again, and then we just kind of slowly start to leak. So like the way I would describe my game is like finesse, like putting. Like for some reason at Old Petty, I kind of like something clicked putting wise, and it's serviceable now. Like it's really good. I feel like I'm like a 2 handicap strokes gain putting and wedges and like within 100 yards. I feel like I'm like a 5 handicap approach right now, and I'm like a 90 handicap driving. And it's just terrible. But like, I'm at this point where I'm like, well, should I just pull out the driving iron and, just have a lot more mid and long irons into greens? Yeah, but I also need to figure out my driver. So it's like I'm kind of caught in no man's land. We're trying to get a little bit more intentional with the practice, but at the same time is like where I'm caught is when I'm on the range, my driver fine. Under pressure, not so much, right? So like a lot of that is mental. Again, anyone who played with me at Spey Bay knows I'm just a fucking head case when it comes to golf. It's a massive problem. And that's just like the frustrating thing about golf, right? It's just like, you can do it. You can, and you just can't under pressure, which is why like this year I've tried to play more pressure golf instead of fun golf, right? But yeah, I mean, I feel like we're trending. I feel like everything is getting a little bit better. And I feel like if I could just get 20%, like if I could just get back to how I was driving the ball earlier in the year and just get rid of the driver yips, I think we can go low. Cause like we're learning how to score. We're learning how to fight. We're learning how to grind. And those were skills that I really needed because, when like 17 or 16 at my home course, I literally topped my drive, didn't make it to the red tees. And still like fought for a bogey, right? Like I hit a 5-iron short, wasn't quite able to get up and down, but like fought for it. And I think in the past I would have given up on those rounds if I wasn't hitting the ball very well. And now I'm like, all right, lock in. So it's one of those skills where you're like, it's actually really easy to get a bogey. I think like back in the day, it was like bogey was a really good score, but just having that mentality of like, okay, well, I'm going to make a good decision here, and I'm going to maybe luck my way into scrambling for a par, but at worst it's going to be a bogey. And unlike Sunday where there were, a couple of triples and a double, more often than not, we're avoiding the big scores, which trying to think positively, that has to be a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Greg, I have to ask you, so on your tee shots, your average driver shot, what percentage power are you swinging with over your last 50 driver shots? What's your percentage?
There's 2 problems happening at once right now. One is I have increased my max speed while also when I'm on the golf course swinging at like 75%. And so there's just like this sync timing situation, and like that's what the problem, because like on the range, like I can hit the ball at 100% and I can hit the ball at 75% because I can feel it. I can hit over and over again and groove it. But then like when I get out there, I'm like, yeah, I've learned my lessons. I'm going to like, I know my 75% now it's almost at what my 100% was a year ago. And I should feel comfortable in that. But then just like, as I start to slow down, I start steering and I start thinking. So that's a good question to ask because that has been a problem in the past for sure. But I feel like pretty confident I'm slowing down my, like, shout out to AJ. We did a lot of tempo work last time I was in Buffalo, slower takeaway. We know what the problems are. We got to be able to commit to it on the course.
Sure.
One other thing I notice every year, at least in my index, is that I'm interested if you guys see the same thing. You're in just different parts of the country, so maybe it doesn't work the same. But my index typically gets worse during the summer when our course conditions are absolutely turned up. They're turning it up for the club championship, which was like last weekend for a course. Greens are running as fast as they're going to all year. Rough's grown out. They've got everything primed to be as hard as possible. And then later in the season, going into the fall, the rough thins out a bit. Greens get a little softer, a little shaggier. Like it actually makes it easier to score. And I see usually I'll find that my handicap is the lowest at the very end of the year because A, I've, the longest continuous time of playing consistently, but B, the conditions get a little easier.
Yep.
So I'm holding out hope that trend will continue and like give me a little tailwind for the rest of the year. We'll see if it plays out, but I don't know. Do you guys see the same thing? Maybe it's completely opposite for you, Greg.
It's different for me in Nashville.
Yeah.
I mean, I pretty much play year round. I mean, obviously the conditions and stuff certainly play a factor, but I also don't have that off season like you have, where it's just like you're not playing golf outside. It's not great in Nashville. It's not like it's Florida, but still can.
Yeah. All right. I've heard people describe the opposite, like in Florida, for example, where maybe everything's kind of dead in the summer. And so it's actually easier to play versus, in the winter, that's where it's kind of tuned up or whatnot. But,
our grass was really good this summer and our member guest is this weekend. So like the pins are placed for that and they're tough, right? There's also, I assume, more PCC adjustment in the winter because of that, depending on climate. I don't know, maybe not, but sweet. All right. Well, thanks for bearing your souls there, gentlemen, and talking through that. Just trying to hold ourselves accountable. We'll do a deeper dive into some of the goal stuff as we get closer to the end of the year. Can't believe it's already September.
Crazy.
Go Bills. All right. So that's it for this week. Appreciate everyone tuning in. Remember, check out Hillcrest memberships. And if you're curious about what Hillcrest is all about, you're going to see some of that stuff this weekend. We'll talk about it on the pod next week. There's tons of stuff coming out there. Check out Instagram and YouTube for Hillcrest and Spey Bay updates. Alpha spoiler here, we'll be releasing the Ryder Cup video on Tuesday, likely. But check out the announcements. Make sure you subscribe so you get notified when those things come out. We've been editing it. It's going to be cool. Like if you want to get a sense, like a really on the ground sense of what an event is like, it's Spey Bay. One with real drama about the US, just behind the scenes, trying to figure out if they can actually get redemption. That'll be a fun video and check that out. Also, if you have any ideas, hit us up on Discord. Hot takes, feedback, guests, whatever you got, let us know. We'd love hearing from you. Spey Bay pods, anything, let us know. And then, on whatever place you find the pods, audio or video, follow up, leave a review, and we will see y'all next time. Appreciate it.
Cheers.
See some of y'all in Kansas City.
Yeah, sure. Go Bills.